Recently, when I was home, I came across a stack of books. And in the top right-hand corner of the books, there was a sticker, and it read, "Property of Tree of Life or La Simcha Congregation." I turned to my mom. "Oh," I said, "I didn't realize you went back and got the books out." My mom was the principal of Tree of Life until about last August, and when she stepped down, she still had a lot to clean out of her office when a government showed up there in October. "Yeah," she said, "I went back recently. I just had so much educational material in there. It would be such a waste not to get it." I asked her how the building is. "Oh, it's fine," she says. My office wasn't really touched at all, just the lock shot off the door and a little bit of a shattered glass window." I look back at the books and I think of them sitting in the bookshelf in her office behind her computer facing the lobby and being there as they watched it all happen. I pick up the book. Sammy Spider's First Shabbat. Sammy Spider was learning new ways to weave a web when he heard the squeak of a synagogue door opening. He looked up and he saw several people shuffling through. "Look, Mother," said Sammy. "What are Rabbi Myers and the other people doing?" "They're coming right on time for Shabbat services," answered Mrs. Spider. "Will we get to go to Shabbat services too?" asked Sammy. "Silly little Sammy," said Mrs. Spider. "Spiders don't go to services. Spiders spin webs." Sammy wasn't listening. He was watching as people wrapped themselves in talitot and grabbed sidurim before heading towards the sanctuary. A long time ago, the world had many large and fabulous creatures. One of these creatures was called the Ziz. He was a big yellow bird with dark red wings and a purple forehead. He was called the Ziz. When he spread his wings, he could travel for miles. One Saturday morning, the Ziz was flying over Pittsburgh when he watched something terrible happen. All of a sudden, a man stomped into Tree of Life or La Simcha Congregation with a gun. Sizzle, snap, bang. He watched as 11 people were killed. "Something terrible has happened," said the Ziz. The last time something terrible had happened was when he knocked down a tree and crushed the children's vegetable garden. That time, to make things right, God had sent him on a quest to find the hardest word. After searching high and low, he learned that the hardest word was sorry. Maybe this time, too, he could find a word that would make things better. He flapped his wings and set off on a new quest. Back at Synagogue, Sammy Spider watched as another man entered through the doors. This man looked angry and was holding a gun. "Mother," he shouted, "what is this man doing?" "Oh no," said Mrs. Spider. "That man has never been here before. He looks like he wants to hurt people." "Will he hurt us too?" asked Sammy. "No," said Mrs. Spider. "Spiders don't get hurt. Spiders spin webs." She looked at Sammy. "Stay here. I'm going to see what's going on." Sammy waited as his mother scuttled out of sight towards the main sanctuary. He looked around the office. There were many books, toys, and games here, and his mother's beautiful web by the window. The Ziz flew over mountains, he flew over trees, he flew over valleys, and he flew over seas. Flap, flap, I'm the biggest bird. Flap, flap, on a quest for a word. After searching the whole day, the Ziz rested next to a very well-attended funeral. It was for two brothers. Their mother was standing in the corner. "You must be heartbroken," said a woman to the mother. "I am," said the mother through her tears, "but in a way I'm happy that they died together. I could never imagine one of them without the other." "Your boys were really martyrs," said the first woman. The mother gave a small smile. "That's it." Ziz flapped his wings. "I found a word that makes people feel better." Ziz flew as fast as he could to God. With his excitement, he poked his purple feathered head up into heaven. "God," he said, "I found a word to help Pittsburgh." "Have you now?" said God. "It's martyr." "Martyr is a helpful word," said God, "but I don't think it's the word you're looking for." Sammy heard a lot of noises coming from the direction his mother had gone. "Mother," he shouted, "Mother, come back." He ran off in her direction. Now that he was inside the main sanctuary, he watched what was going on below. One man darted out the door. Rabbi Myers pulled himself and a few other congregants into a closet. Sammy was worried. Where was his mother? Sammy watched as the gun fired at people, causing them to fall. He saw his mother across the room, perched on a stained glass window near the ark. He watched as the man headed towards his mother. "Miss, Mother," he screamed, forgetting that she had told him to stay put. She heard his shout and ran towards him, a bullet crashing into the wall where she had been moments before. If the timing had been just a little bit different, she would have been hurt. "Sammy," she said, "I told you to stay put." "I got worried," he said. "Oh, Mother, what is going on? Is this what happens on Shabbat?" "Not usually," said Mrs. Spider. "Shabbat is meant to be a day of peace. Now this man has everyone scared." "Are we scared too, Mother?" asked Sammy. "Silly little Sammy," said Mrs. Spider. "Spiders don't get scared. Spiders spin webs." She led Sammy away from the sanctuary. The Ziz flew over mountains, he flew over trees. He flew over valleys and he flew over seas. Flap, flap, I'm the biggest bird. Flap, flap, on a quest for a word. The Ziz searched for many more days. He brought back lots of words to God, trying to find the right word to respond to the terrible thing that had happened in Pittsburgh. He flew over the whole country and saw people speaking at vigils, so he brought back Stronger Together. He saw parents reunite with children and brought back the word love. He saw students holding each other to stop them from shaking, and he brought back safe. Each time, God sent the Ziz away. Sammy walked with his mother back towards the web. As they walked, Mrs. Spider pointed out what was going on. "See that man? He was a doctor. He died because he went back to help people." Next, they passed another man. Sammy knew that man. He was named Cecil, and he always left the spider's webs alone when he saw them. He ran back inside for his brother, she said. Everyone was trying to help. "Can we help too, Mother?" Sammy asked. "Silly little Sammy," said Mrs. Spider. "Spiders can't help in a synagogue shooting. Spiders spin webs." After months of searching, the Ziz still could not find a word to make things better. He flew back to have one more discussion with God. "What word did you bring this time?" God asked. "No word," the Ziz said quietly. "So you see," said God, "your quest was admirable, but there is no word to help in a tragedy like a synagogue shooting." "But I searched for so long," said the Ziz. "I thought there would have to be something." God looked sad. Sometimes you have to try a lot of words for yourself before you realize that nothing will help. Sammy and his mother got back to the web that Mrs. Spider had worked so hard to weave, and Sammy gasped. The window was cracked and the web in the corner was tattered to shreds. "Mother, what happened to the web?" he cried. Mrs. Spider carefully looked at each broken strand. "I think a bullet got it," she replied. "We're going to have to rebuild it. It may take a very long time." Sammy trembled in the corner. "But what will we do without our home?" he asked. "Silly little Sammy," said Mrs. Spider, holding him close. "Home isn't this building. Home is us together." The Ziz flew once again over the city of Pittsburgh. The whole city looked a little different now, a little bit darker, with broken buildings that couldn't be fixed and missing people that couldn't be found. God was right. There were no helpful words. Sammy thought about what home meant as he huddled close to his mother. He listened as the sounds of shouting became quieter. "Shabbat Shalom, Mother," he said. And even though Mrs. Spider knew the spiders didn't celebrate Shabbat, she smiled as she gave Sammy a tight hug. "Shabbat Shalom."